All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome to River City 93. This is me, as Elliot, coming to you live right after the game. So let's talk about it. 1-0 loss to NCFC. The goal that was scored, from what I've seen, I haven't gone back and looked at it back live yet, but a couple of things. I mean, I don't know if you can really do anything in that header. It's a power header. You jump like a salmon in the air. I don't know if you can get to it, but some of the positives, I think there's a lot of positives to take out of it, by the way. Look at the scoreboard. Massive. Absolutely massive. Yeah, so I like the back five defensively. I think this is the Kickers' best game defensively. Even though, it's not a clean sheet. They didn't, keep them out the goal. I think the principles there I liked a lot. From seeing Pablo be strong in goal, made a couple of key saves. There was a stretch between the 50th and 60th minute where he was just making saves. I haven't seen him look that comfortable in goal in a long time, probably not since his Tormenta days in that. Also the back five with Dak, I think he did an important job tonight. And attack, his job was to push up in midfield, kind of be a screen for the back two, Griffin and Chella, but then defensively, when we had the ball, drop back a little bit more, and kind of allow either Griffin or Chella to step up into pockets of space and kind of control their front three. I think they did the positive things there. Josh Kirkland did a lot of hard running. Now, I think when the Kickers get the opportunity to go back and look at some of the tape, I think they will be upset at some of the chances they missed. Lena had a gut-busting run late in the 70th minute. Nails as well. Darwin as well had a couple of dangerous chances. I think they're going to go back and rue those chances, but, they made a goalkeeper work. It wouldn't go directly to him, but I think they will want some of those to kind of hit the back of the net. Outside of that, I mean, talking about it on the podcast, I think we already said that we were cool with the draw going into PKs. It felt like a win. I still think that this is it's not a win, but I think there's more positive than negative to take out of it. Playing against the championship side, now granted, it was I wouldn't say heavily rotated, probably moderately rotated team. So you have that. But then also, it looked like a clean performance. The Kickers didn't look out of touch. There are some questionable calls. Definitely a couple of moments that should have been called as free kicks. But we'll talk about that. You'll probably hear from Darren and a couple other players as well. So before we get to them, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And we will talk to you guys later. Also, I'm going to the U20 game. So if you're going, come by, speak to me, say hey, what's up, and whatnot. So yeah, all that being said, but remember, like, share, and subscribe. You're hearing the players now and coaches. See you guys later. Peace.
Darren, hard fought one tonight. Just talk about the game a little bit and what you saw from your perspective.
Well, I'll say this. I'm really proud of my group, and I like the way it's trending. We're a little bit more quality in the final third. We win that game in the run of play. 2 penalties easy for us that weren't called. Really frustrating, but I'll tell you what, I like where we're headed. I love that the kids played tonight. Onward.
Talk about that a little bit. A back line that's got 3 homegrowns on it, and Simon, Griffin, and Beckett. Kirky started as well to add to the homegrown list that started, and then Landon and Andrew joined them with Dak and Jonah representing VCU, as well as Simon. So talk a little bit about all of them. Yeah,
listen, we made a commitment to being local. We signed some very good players. Nils Soyford is about as far away as it gets from Richmond, and he's a huge piece of us. But having those guys come in and do well tonight, it only bodes well for the future. And, again, I'm just really excited about how we're trending right now.
And one more hit on Andrew Richmond. You saw him get his first minutes at Spokane and then his first home minutes tonight. Talk a little bit about what made him shine a little.
Yeah, Beckett Howell's taken the minutes and he's doing awesome. Griffin Gurnett did it last year. James Sneddon has done it. Andrew Richmond's starting to take the minutes, and Landon Johnson's starting to get in the mood. So there's a lot of young guys that are getting the job done. Really happy with Andrew. Andrew's got a little bit of darkness in his eyes, which I really like. And people are going to like him as we go in the future.
All right, Darren. First of all, let's start off with the back five in quotation marks. We saw Dak. He shifted up in midfield on attack, but they went to back five. Can you just talk about how that priority of that back line allowed you to kind of snuff out a lot of the problems with NCFC were presenting?
Yeah, tactically they build in a 3-2-5. They defend in a 5-2-3, so we knew that they would push an extra guy high, so we had both the center backs pick up the inverted wingers. That allowed our outside backs to step to their wing back, so Dak just dropped off. Did a great job tonight. We again, defensively, I thought it was a great night. We're really unfortunate to give up that goal. Just a little more quality in the attacking end, and we would have won the game.
Also, Pablo Jara, he hasn't started a lot of games, usually in the cup games, but he made some important saves definitely in the 55 to 60-minute stretch. Can you just talk about how important it was, not only for him, but also that backline, that veteran goalkeeper making those key saves over and over and over?
Yeah, I thought Pablo had a great night. Probably his best game for us this year. I love Pablo. Pablo has been awesome. He's got a young goalkeeper that's starting over him at the moment. He comes to training every day and he helps James grow. Tonight, he started to put himself in discussion, and we're going to have to decide who plays going into Texoma.
And set pieces, a little bit ineffectiveness on there tonight. Can you just talk about some of the frustration that you might have had with some of the set piece delivery or ability to not be able to finish off the chances?
In the first half, we had 32 final third entries. We touched the ball, I think, 22 times in the opposition box, and we didn't get anything. We had 6 corner kicks in the first half, if I remember correctly. We got to get something out of that. That's on me. I got to set them up better. They were very organized defensively, but I'll take responsibility for that. We were a little too anemic, but we're going to add some iron to that, and we're going to get it done.
And last thing, we saw you get the yellow card after a colorful conversation. Can you just speak about that yellow card that you might have had?
I'm going to just tell you this. That was a gross display. That was a bad officiating night, and Andrew Richmond got absolutely destroyed in violent conduct in the box. We just watched it on video again. This referee, he's got to grow some cojones and make the call for us.
All right. Thank you so much, Darren.
Yeah.
All right, Andrew. Second appearance for the team, first home appearance tonight. Talk a little bit about what the night was like from your perspective.
It was great. I was glad I got to come in and make impact in front of the fans, and it was good getting the appearance at home. And unlucky we didn't get the result, but we'll keep going.
And 4,700 fans here tonight in your hometown. Talk a little bit about what this community means and getting to play in front.
Yeah, it means a lot. I was one of the fans at one point. I grew up watching the game, so I was in their shoes at one point, knowing how it feels. But yeah, I'm glad I'm on the field doing it for them and representing the Kickers. So yeah.
Andrew, real quick, can you just describe your role at the end of the game? What were you brought on to do?
Yeah, I was brought on to bring energy to the game, make it competitive, get chances. The game was kind of back and forth towards the end, so I was just in there to start attacks and stuff and just bring energy. So yeah.
And then lastly for me, man, how did it feel to get your first couple of minutes? You got minutes before other kids, but going on that field for the first time, you're a local kid from Mechanicsville High School. Are you going to go back to your friends and be like, hey guys, guess what I'm doing this summer?
Yeah, they know about it. It's pretty cool representing this club and this city, and it's a great experience. This was a great game to come into. A lot of emotions towards the end of the game. And we'll glad we could play next weekend, and unfortunately we didn't get the result, but yeah.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Talk a little bit about tonight as a whole. Obviously not the result we want, but a hard-fought battle and definitely a defensive performance from y'all.
Yeah, I think that game could have gone our way. I think Drew kind of got wrecked on the penalty, or no penalty call over there, but I think we could have had one there. And then the goal, they kind of caught us a little bit, but we held them to the 83rd minute. So overall, I think it was a good performance against the championship team.
You and Beckett and Simon all started on the back line tonight, and talk a little bit about all three of you being from here and getting to kind of grow up with this team and start to make have an effect on the team's performance.
Yeah, it's exciting to see. We're all Richmond United kids. We all grew up playing there. And it's fun to play with them because we know, we all learned to play soccer at the same place, and we all kind of play the same way. So it's a joy being able to play with those two.
And then just talking a little bit about the fans. 4,700 people here tonight. I know some of your family was here as well. Just talk about what that means for you.
Yeah, they showed up. It's 12th man. It makes a huge difference, honestly. We can always hear the Red Army there, and yeah, it's just a great atmosphere on a beautiful night. So we were glad to be back home. Made a huge difference.
Greg, for you, first started in almost a month since unfortunate injury there. Just how important was you to get back in the field, being in that starting lineup for yourself?
Yeah, it was good to get back. I was a little hesitant in warm-ups, to be honest. It was bothering me a little bit, but once I got out there, it felt great. So I'm glad to be back.
And then also, how was it dealing with? Is there any real difference between dealing with a USL Championship striker versus a League One striker in movements or how they play or physicality?
It's not a huge difference. I'd say they're maybe a little bit quicker. Like Dolabella used to play in League One, but moved. He's a good player. He's quick. He's tall. He's strong. The striker Luckhurst, he's very good too. So it's not a huge difference, but definitely much quicker.
And last question: with this new wave of baby Roos coming through, for you yourself, you're not quite a vet yet, but how does it feel to be kind of a mentor for them, kind of be that in between, that medium between the veterans and them getting their first steps?
Yeah, I mean, I like being in the middle. I like being able to learn from the old guys still and being able to help the young guys. Seeing Drew, come on and make an impact it feels good. And knowing that we can help them, get on the field as much as possible and improve, it's an exciting opportunity.
Talk a little bit about what the night as a whole was like from your perspective.
I thought it was a good fight from the boys. I thought we brought a lot of energy, had a bit, some good chances in the first half to really capitalize, and I thought we stuck to the game plan. I think Darren set us up in a way where he knew we were going to be successful, and I thought we did that for about 80-ish minutes whenever they scored the goal. We would have liked to have a little bit more quality up the field and just through building, but we stuck to the game plan and we were in it for pretty much the majority of the game. So I'm proud of the boys for fighting defensively. They worked really hard. And then a few little things that we could clean up, and we see ourselves with the result there. Maybe we get a call that goes our way, maybe not. That's footy. But, we'll keep moving. But I'm proud of the boys tonight from just an overall standpoint.
You and Simon both came through VCU. Simon's from here. Beckett and Griff are obviously from here and on the back line. Talk a little bit about kind of the defensive mindset, especially with some of the guys who are from here and have been in this city for a while.
Yeah, I think, playing at City Stadium, it means a lot to everybody on the team, but for guys that have, family, friends in the stadium, it means even more to represent this city. Guys like myself who are implants, but guys who are here, it's something special, and we just got to keep growing.
And obviously there's, as one of the vets on the team that's balancing some incredible veteran talent, but also some incredible young talent. Talk a little bit about what it's been like to lead them.
Yeah, it's great. The boys are great. They listen, they come in, they have objectives that they need to accomplish week in, week out, and I think we're seeing a lot of growth. It was great to get Andrew on the field tonight. The kid's going to be something special. Griff back in the lineup, and Beckett's doing his job back out left. So lots of growth, and, that's all we can keep asking from him.
We already asked Coach Darren about this, but your role tonight, you probably had the most important role of stepping up into that midfield in attack, but then also making a back five in defense.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that responsibility and how that back five kind of extinguished a lot of the fires that NCFC was trying to present to you?
Yeah, we had a bit of a, like I said, we stuck to the game plan. We had something that we wanted to do when they set up the way that they did, and I think we did a really good job of it. Our press in the first half, a lot of times they were kicking the ball either right to Pablo or out of bounds, and we were building on that. The responsibility, yeah, like Darren tells me, this is my job this week and I got to go get it done. Obviously I've played center back before, so it's not too unfamiliar for me, but no, really proud of the way we stuck together. I think we extinguished a lot of balls that they try to typically do from watching film, so I think it was in that aspect pretty successful.
All right. And then lastly for me, you as the captain, the team mentality with a lot of the non-calls, we didn't see this team drop their head or get frustration. Normally how teams would get as things don't normally turn their way. Can you just speak about how proud you are, especially with having so many, young kids or young players on the team that they didn't allow that to stop them from, like you said, doing their job?
Yeah, this is a team that works for all 90 minutes plus. Nobody's going to put their head down. We don't really allow that here with our standards. It's something that we pride ourselves on, that even if we're down 1-0 with 5, 6, 7 minutes left, we're still pushing for it, and that's something that we start to breed here, and that's what we do at training day in and day out, keeping track of who wins mini games and stuff like that. So that just bleeds over into games, and if we can continue to keep those standards in training, those will show in the field.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Darren.
Thank you.
All right, James, talk a little bit about tonight from your perspective. Obviously, helping on the defensive side and seeing a little bit of strong defensive success tonight. For the first 80 at the very least.
Yeah. No, it was a solid performance from the boys. I think we were a bit unlucky not to get anything away from it, to be honest with you. I think we had our chances. Their keeper had a hell of a game, and sometimes you have to hold your hat on that. But yeah, I think defensively we were solid. We didn't really give too much up, and hey, Pablo played unbelievable in goal. He really kept us in this game and made a difference for this game for us to hopefully do at the other end and try and score some goals down the other end. But unfortunately we weren't tonight, but hopefully we can capitalise on this and bounce back next week.
We finished the match with 4 of the guys who have either come up through the academy or are currently in the academy on the pitch. Talk a little bit about being a veteran for a team that kind of works both of those angles, some incredible veteran talent as well as some guys coming up and how to balance that.
Yeah, look, we have some great talent in this team, especially the youngsters coming through. Andrew came on today and done really well. They don't look out of place. They look like they can step into these games, and it's tough. They come and train with us, but to come in front of a big crowd like this that they're not used to playing in front of is definitely tough for them. But they handle it very, very well. As a veteran player, you try and help and bring them along and try and guide them as best as you can. It's tough in some moments when you're trying to do your job as well. But hey, look, I've always been one of these players that will help them whenever I can. On and off the field, and I can't speak highly of the boys that come on.
And talking a little bit about playing in front of that crowd, 4,700 tonight. Talk a little bit about what this community means.
Yeah, it's massive. It's massive. We hear it on the pitch. It's like a 12th man out there. We hear it with the highs and the lows. When shots maybe just sail over the bar or whatever, we can hear them, and that really does help drive us forward and drive this team forward. We really do need them. It makes a big difference for us on that pitch, and like I say, hopefully next time we can try and bring 3 points with us.
James, I want to ask you this question. In a game in which you're not going to get a lot of touches and build up as a midfielder, does that change your mentality at all, knowing that we might just get one opportunity to really break, and then for a stretch of 4 or 5 minutes I'm not going to get the ball as well? Does that change your mentality at all?
It doesn't. Look, I think we know what we have to come in as a midfielder to come into these games, and they're always going to be a battle. There's never an easy game in this league, and especially in the Jägermeister Cup against USL Championship teams. I do think we probably could have played a bit more at times. When the game definitely did open up. But look, we'll go home and we'll look at these performances, and we'll look at the video, and hopefully we can improve. But we just know as a centre midfielder, me, Nils, Chandler, Dak, whoever's in there, we know we're always going to have a battle in there, and we're always up for the occasion. So.
And last question I want to ask you. You came off the field, 80-ish minute. You had Andrew Richard come in for you. When you just sitting on the bench and watching him, what impressed you the most about him playing in that midfield zone?
Just his composure. I think his composure as a young player in a pretty hectic game, against guys who are probably physically bigger than him, to have that composure at that age is incredible. I feel like when I saw him come on, there's no difference in when you're going to bring in a veteran player. You know he's going to come on and do a job for the boys and what needs to be done. There's always things that any player can improve. And as that young guy, I think he settled into the game really well, and hey, probably maybe should have a penalty shout at the end of the game when he got tackled from behind in the penalty box. But look, I think any of these guys that come on are ready to come on and help perform for the team, and as a veteran player we just have to try and help bring them through and give them as much confidence we can to help them perform at the level.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.